in this one, we are going to hit that head on, because what it is, it's like a veil, and the tongue is like a gatekeeper for holographic breathing, or what we're doing in holographic breathing, to access the brain cells, and for the brain cells to actively start breathing intrinsically themselves. And there is a change of mode there when that happens, and unless people know where they're going to, there's just a lot of yawning that happens, and people can't quite access that space where the brain cells are breathing. And once the brain cells are breathing, and once the energy is traveling through there, that whole passing out disappears. But what there is there in its place is a conscious dream state, accessing our mind or our brain in a way that we're not used to, in a way that it is circumnavigating the intellect. And it's not an area of the brain and how we use the brain that we're used to. Now, we are going to go into that in the second half. In the first half, I'm going to teach you a way of the brain cells breathing and activating the brain cells in a way that it doesn't bring up this dream state and people kind of passing out. And then in the second half, we will go into that and open up that space of the energies, how it works through the tongue and how it works through the brain, to open up that space and to really bring a deep healing to that area. And what I've called, I don't know if it's correct, I've called it the female kundalini, because it feels feminine. And often in holographic breathing, there's a male side to things and there's a female side to things. And often the female side is hidden. There's like a veil. It's not apparent. The male side is apparent. The female side is not apparent. And for me, I've called this the female kundalini, because there is a kundalini that runs from the pelvis and the lower organs up the spine and through the brain. And this kundalini, or rising energy, that we will be initiating today, it's different. It runs through the organs, through the chest, through the trachea, through the tongue, and then the tongue is like the gatekeeper. And when you work in the correct way with the tongue, then that accesses the brain, and then the energies has got a free movement directly through. And this has been an ongoing teaching to me in holographic breathing, in how holographic breathing activates and brings the brain to life, and everything there, the intellect, the different modes of energies of the brain, the connection to the cranial fluid, the connection to the higher energies, how holographic breathing links that all up, initiates it in different ways, and connects it to the body. And a lot of the healing in holographic breathing is that. It is that connection of the systems in the body to the systems in the brain. And just this movement of the mouth and of the throat and of the face that starts in holographic breathing, that is absent in our normal breath. but is just a natural thing that is embedded in our DNA that comes to life when we do holographic breathing. And so today's is no different. And I just wanted to speak about something that came up when I was editing the last one from last week, because I just started editing that yesterday. And a lot of people find it difficult to watch my videos because they go to sleep. You start listening, and I joke and say I should be some kind of sleep therapist, because people listen to my videos and they don't actually get to hear what's there. They find it quite often find it hard to stay awake, and quite often just go to sleep or pass out. And I've always wondered about that, because it does make me feel like that sometimes when they listen to them, but normally I am just editing them. But in editing that one, I could barely keep my eyes open, and I realized it is this function of the female Kundalini, and I think that is just already active in me. And when I'm teaching people about holographic breathing, the energies to do with holographic breathing come through and also get spoken. Now I don't actively do that. I don't actively say, oh, energies of the holographic breathing come through and speak to me or speak through me. At the beginning of any healing session or any holographic breathing session, I do ask, I go into it as a beginner and ask, the earth, the higher energies to help me and to teach me how to do it and to help me doing it. So I do that, but when I'm running these, I just find it suddenly easy to talk, and then suddenly half an hour or 3/4 of an hour has gone past. I'm not actively doing something, but I just think I'm so akin to those energies I don't even notice them, because I am being given the job to bring it through. And also, I don't know that there is a specific energies to the holographic breathing or not. There very likely is, and when I tune in there is, but because it's holographic, everybody will have their own version of that. Whatever is happening in our body, whatever is happening in our face, whatever is happening in our brain is also happening in a different level in the higher energies, and is happening in a different energy level in the earth energies. It's all connecting, and that's always there. So I don't know there has to be a particular energy holographic breathing channel or something. I think it is just those universal energies working. And but editing that video, what suddenly changed it for me was I realized it was the energies of that particular group that were just hitting me strongly, and it was before any of the meditations. It was just me talking about it, and somehow in me giving the intellectual or the talk about it, that was initiating the energies, and I just had to let the energy go through my brain and through my brain cells, and instantly I wasn't tired anymore. As soon as my brain was breathing and working, then I wasn't passing out, and it was connecting to my tongue, and it was connecting to my organs, because I think that is what this particular webinar is about. But as a little bit of advice, because this may affect a lot, certainly I don't, probably not so much the people here, but from the feedback I get from a lot of other people, that people find it hard to stay awake when they're watching my videos. So if you ever want to watch my videos, what is a fantastic meditation is not to worry so much about the intellectual side of what I'm talking about, because quite often it's too much substance to take in all in one go. But allow your brain to start breathing, and your brain cells and the energy to go through your brain as you're listening. And listen, for me, there's something going on behind the words. It isn't so particular, isn't me per se. There's an energy coming through that isn't talking to the intellect, and you won't understand the information that is there. It's not on the same level as the intellect. It's like there's a different conversation going on behind the words. And certainly in editing the videos that I've just been doing, that became a great meditation for me, was just to let the words just go completely through me and not worry about them, and notice this thing that was happening in the background. So I think you can use any of the videos to try that with, just to see if it works.